another edition of the Plus One interview, and friend of the show is back. Michelle is back, and we are about to talk some Patriots. We finally got a win. They finally got a win.
Was it a win? Was it a win though?
You take them as they come. When you're in desperate need of a win, don't matter who.
It felt more like a loss to me.
I'll tell you why this felt like a win for me. Because in 3 of their last 4 games, they've had the ball with the potential to go down and get a game-winning score. And each time they've gotten stopped on the 1-yard line. They missed a wide-open receiver. We got a fumble in there. This time, the Jets pretty much gifted them a gift. They gifted them a gift, and they went down and they got the field goal and they executed. They needed something like that to go their way because they've been close and close and close, but they just couldn't break through. And this one, they finally were able to do it. And this is when you have a team with so many young players like this. This is something that they need.
Well, also you did mention that the Jets gifted them this. Yeah, the Patriots were playing a team that was tanking. So of course the Jets gave them that game. That interception late by Joe Flacco, what was that? And then for me, it felt like a loss because if there's such thing as, when they lost to the Seattle Seahawks, we're like, oh, that, was a more victory. There was a lot of positive to take out of that. We felt good about that loss.
Yeah.
However, for me, when you barely beat a team like the Jets and you're struggling against an 0-8 team at the time, you're losing by 10 points in the fourth quarter, even though you win, it felt like a loss because that wasn't a game you were supposed to win. And if you weren't playing a team like the Jets that were clearly tanking, you don't win that game. And I don't feel like you win that game. And it's sad because this is the New England Patriots. And when folk hit that 51-yard field goal, I was happy, but then I was like, whoa, I'm a little embarrassed. Why am I so happy that the Patriots beat an 0-8 team that they should not have beaten in the first place? Because it wasn't a good game for the New England Patriots, especially that defense. And I know you gave the defense a pass because there's no Dante Hightower, there's no Patrick Chung.
Oh, no, I ain't giving them a pass for this one.
Yeah, you can't give them a pass for this one. Joe Flacco was like an MVP.
Yeah, they can't get a pass from this one for their performance of this one with Joe Flacco. I don't care if you are losing, if you don't have your best players out there. You can't have Joe Flacco go out there and look like the league MVP, just tossing dimes out there and having guys run free in the secondary. That was an embarrassing performance by the defense.
Absolutely. The one good thing I guess I can take away from this is Cam Newton didn't lose them the game. He didn't fumble in the red zone. He did what he had to do. And I think that's what the Patriots needed him to do all season. We don't need you to be Tom Brady. The Patriots don't need Cam Newton to be Tom Brady. They don't even need him to be Cam Newton from his MVP season. They need Cam Newton to be able to hit wide open receivers, run the ball when he has to, and protect the ball. That's what we saw against the Jets. Unfortunately, it was the Jets, a team that is taking. So how can I be happy about that?
You got to take the wins as they come because it could be worse. You needed a win. Nothing better. Hey, if it's a close one, it's a blowout. It helps for the younger players, for those players that they don't know what it's like to win a game down 10 points like that. And for those offense, you talked about Cam Newton making better decisions. How about Josh McDaniels calling better plays in his designs? You finally realized that you don't have speedster wide receivers, so they completely took out throwing deep routes. I think he had two. I remember he had one in the opening drive, and then he had another one where he missed a guy. But they completely taken out just trying to throw the ball deep. They realized that these receivers aren't fast. They're possession receivers.
Not just the receivers. I also wonder if they don't trust Cam Newton to throw the ball deep also. Because he's not
There's a
he has
lot of
accurate quarterback,
yeah.
So I wonder if it's, yes, we don't have the receivers that are capable of doing this, and also Cam Newton can't do it either.
They
Some of
don't.
his passes, I was like, ooh.
Yeah, they don't. They don't. There's not a lot of honestly. There's not a lot of beliefs in the offense, and honestly, Cam don't trust that offensive line because whenever he gets more than like 3 or 4 seconds, he starts to panic because he's been hit too many times, and the offensive line has proven they can't really. They're not that great at protecting him. So anytime they design a play that's supposed to go deep, I just don't think he has faith that he'll have time to even attempt to pass with the offensive line the way they were playing. But yeah, but I mean, I'm just happy that they got that win. They got that win. It showed me that this is how the NFL works. Separate yourself from being a good or decent team. The margin of errors. This team can't afford any errors. That's why they're 3-5. They could easily be 6-2 if they corrected some of the stuff they didn't do early in the season. But their margin of error is so small. They need to play a game like that. Just run the ball, play action, short passes, and what's the guy's name? Bird. He's shown that he can make plays after the catch.
Also, Jacoby Myers.
Yeah.
12 of 14, 169 yards. He was great in that game. For me, I think that was the biggest takeaway for me is how he is developing into a trustworthy wide receiver that Cam Newton can go to. And it's interesting because Newton talked about their history. He went to Newton's quarterback camp when he was in high school. Myers is a former quarterback, so he's able to understand defenses better than other wide receivers. Okay. And he's shown that a lot. It's interesting because he wasn't getting that much playing time early on in the season. Finally, he's getting the playing time to show what he can do, and he's delivering really well for this team. He's been trustworthy. He was there every single time Cam Newton needed him on Monday, and I don't think the Patriots win without him, because who else was he going to throw the ball to?
Yeah, and there's a couple guys on that offense that might not see the field again. Number one, Sony Michel, and number two is N'Keal Harry. They might have some snaps taken away from them when they return because Harris, he's just been a workload. Granted, he got hurt at the end of the game, but he's been a workload. And, the emergence, if Jacoby Myers can put together more games like this, he'll take that number one receiver spot.
I'm loving what I'm seeing from Damian Harris. The more he plays, the more he's getting comfortable in the offense, the more he's getting comfortable playing in the NFL game. And you're seeing that. Mm-hmm. He is good. He was playing well. He's breaking tackles. He's doing exactly what a lot of Patriots fans wanted to see from Sony Michel. And I'm going to have to go negative. You're saying N'Keal Harry, Sony Michel, both first-round draft picks, correct?
Yeah.
And they are potentially going to lose playing time. That's on Bill Belichick and his drafting. And you talked about that with me a couple weeks ago. That's a problem.
Yeah, they picked Sony Michel over Nick Chubb. And Nick Chubb has been a much better productive running back in the NFL. And then we already know about the receivers pick after N'Keal Harry. So, yeah, I think Belichick, the GM, at some point they need to have a conversation. Kraft needs to have a sit-down with him and get somebody else in there because Belichick's eye for talent, especially on the offensive side, has not been great.
It hasn't been great, and especially now when the Patriots are somewhat rebuilding or resetting, you need somebody that can draft talent because that's what this team needs right now as they're trying to reshape themselves into a playoff, come back into a playoff team without a trusty quarterback in Tom Brady that can develop players like he has so many years in the past.
Yeah, it's going to be tough. Well, you talk about playoffs. Right now they're 3-5, 2-1 in the AFC East. All right. Now, if this team could actually go 8-8 and 7 or 9-7, that would be one of the most Belichick needs to get all the flowers in the world if he does that. But let me tell you their next 5 games, let me tell you. a primetime game against the Ravens. Then they go to the Texans. Then they got the Cardinals coming here. And then they're in LA back-to-back weeks. They take on the Chargers and the Rams. Right now, I'm seeing 1-4 or 2-3.
I see one win. I see one win, and that's maybe against the Texans. Maybe.
If somehow miraculously they go 3-2 out of this stretch, I won't even watch the rest of the last 3 games. I'll be like,
I would be shocked. I would be shocked. And if they do that, I have to apologize to Bill Belichick.
Yeah,
for every bad thing I've said about him this season. I just don't see it happening.
Yeah,
you can't. A team that struggled against the Broncos, that were 1-3 at the time, a team that struggled against a winless Jets team, I don't expect them to come out and beat the Ravens, beat Kyler Murray, who's pretty good. I don't expect them to beat the Rams. Now, the Rams, Chargers.
Those are top. I feel
like the Chargers are actually better than their record. Yeah, they just can't finish games. Yeah. I feel like they're a lot better than their record. Justin Herbert has it's early, but he looks like an NFL quarterback to me.
And the Rams is winnable because Jared Goff has dipped dramatically.
Yes, but the Rams, for me though, the Rams are only winnable maybe last year. But this is a different team. This is not like we have Tom Brady. The Patriots don't have Tom Brady in the backfield. No, and this is not a knock to Cam. It's just Tom Brady was that type of quarterback that can help you win those games. That you can say, oh, I'm not going to bet against Bill Belichick and Tom Brady. There's no Tom Brady. You can definitely
bet against Jared Goff. You can bet Jared Goff, though. You can bet Jared Goff will give.
Yes, but I just don't think the Patriots are even not just good enough. I don't even think they're average enough to beat the Rams. And I agree with you. I don't think Jared Goff is that good, but they struggled against the Broncos and lost.
Yeah, but I'm just saying, Jared Goff, he's gonna throw them some that.
Yeah, he's gonna throw them some easy ones.
He's gonna.
J.C. Jackson should have a pick or two.
Yeah, that one. So if they manage to go 2-3 or 3-2 in this stretch, yeah, that'll be something amazing. Well,
so you're saying you feel like the playoffs, there's still a path.
They have a pulse. They have a pulse. It's like they're almost flatlining, but they still have a pulse. And also, if you look at it, they've been in every single game this year. They've been in every game minus the 49ers.
49ers.
Yeah, that was the only game. I mean, the Chiefs, we know what that. Woo, but that's but all the games they've been in, it's just the execution. But it's a long season, but whatever. It's almost over. The misery's almost over. Michelle, let them know where they can follow you.
Oh, follow me on Instagram at Michelle Fenelon TV, MICHLL. That's the right way. EFENELON TV. And on Twitter at Mish Fenelon, MICHFENELON.
All right, and there you have it. That's another +1 interview with Michelle. You guys, we'll see you guys when we see you guys.